Oh, 3 days a week. That's correct.
Hey, don't scare us like that. That was too good.
Wait, Patrick. Welcome to the August 7th meeting of the Rotary Club of Brentwood. I'm Jennifer Ruane, and we'll start with George. Are you doing the inspirational message today? Who's doing? Yep.
Nobody told me, I forgot.
Oh.
Anyway, I know who God is. Let us pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we love you, Father, and we're so thankful for the life that you give us, every breath, every beat of our hearts. Everything that we have and are, you have given us. Please help us to devote that back to you. This club, Rotary, has always tried to devote back to giving goodwill to the community and giving as you would have us give. Please continue to bless our efforts and help us to help others. In Jesus' holy and blessed name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Now forward to the big saying do. First, is it true that is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendships? Beneficial to all concerned. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties.
Yes, give not. This is Chuck Blackford. He's a new member. No, he's a former member of our club. I'm glad to have him.
Okay, Chuck, you looked really pretty on TV last night. I'm so glad you got back from Knox County today to join us. Thank you. Drew, is Drew here to do Happy Bucks?
Yeah. Can you hear me? I am here to do Happy Bucks. Sorry, I've not been here in a little bit. I was actually here a couple weeks ago, but I'm happy. When I joined this club almost 19 years ago, I had 0 children. I have 4 children, and next week I will be moving my oldest into Auburn University, where he will start a 4-year degree there in building science. So I'm very excited about that. Eagle. Very little money to give, but I did give some in the basket because the rest of my money will go towards tuition. So somebody else has got to be happy. There you go, Larry.
I am putting in $1.87. Count it. It's accurate. 187. That is 187 pennies, right? 187 is what our president bowled last night. With an average, with her yearly average of 70. So she had 5 straight strikes to end her game, could not miss. And so 187.
Nice job. You don't have any cash, do you, Charles?
So I just want to know, did you mysteriously place some bets before? Yes, yeah. I'll bet you really blew the odds away. So I stand in front of you feeling like I was lied to about how easy it was to be a parent. My son graduated from college, University of California, Irvine, a month or so ago, and I flew to Irvine to drive his car to Denver, where he's has moved at this point. That was fun. We stopped in Vegas. Definitely want to take your son to Vegas. That was cool. And he's taking the LSAT today. So we're hoping for a good score in the LSAT. He's done very well in the prep. So we'll see how that converts to a real score. And then my daughter starts Brentwood High School on Monday. And over the summer, we took her to 2 different cheer camps. We were at OSU, Ohio State, and also Wisconsin. And we'll be at Michigan later. It's insane. These kids are running me ragged and they're bleeding me dry. And I feel like somebody should have told me. That's all I'm saying.
I could have told you. Okay. Oh. Alan, you have money.
Yeah, I was going to say, congratulations, Charles, on your oldest boy. Graduated from Cal Irvine. Does anybody know the nickname of Cal? The Anteaters. And I actually been there. It's a cool school. In the student union, they have what is the Anteater? What's his name? Peter. He's reading the paper. Yeah. All right.
There you go.
Alan, did you
Thank
put
you for
money
that
in?
He did. He put it
Okay,
$1,
making sure.
which was 87 cents less than Larry Kane. Okay.
If you too want to have an average of 70 and roll a 187, you have an opportunity in the fall. We have a Rotary Fall Bowling League. We have one team that is going to bowl on Thursday nights. If there are others who are interested, please see me today because today's the deadline. Let me know.
Very good. Laura Troop, War Eagle.
Oh, roll tide. I sent a daughter back to Alabama yesterday, but we're moving our son in next week. So that means I have 2 beds for 2 more kids to move into our house. So why not?
Chuck?
I just flew in from Knoxville and my arms are not tired. And I have a lot to be proud about. The first woman ever to be governor. She will be governor if you will all vote and tell all your friends to vote in the general election coming up. But it's pretty much a done deal if people don't consider it a done deal. All right, thank you.
I'd like to give a shout out to Tucker Day, who's recently married and just off his honeymoon. So, congratulations.
Congratulations, Tucker.
Today, I think of myself and my wife as very special people because this coming Tuesday, August 11th, we will be married 63 years. And the only reason I am even here is because of her, because when I went to college, I still, to this day, don't know how to type. And I was a social studies ed major, and she typed every term paper that I ever produced because of her skills that she had. And we thought we were hot stuff because we had an electric typewriter in 1967. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Do we have anybody else? 65 years. Congratulations, George. Tucker, congratulations. You've got 65 years to go.
Yeah.
Back to you.
All right. So everybody give generously when you put money in the basket for Happy Bucks. This month, what I'm trying to do is raise enough money so we can have a membership drive happy hour offsite. So that's what I'm earmarking this money for. Let me see. Everybody notice our new sign. We are continuing to celebrate Steve Huff's mother's 90th birthday. with this sign. Steve and Bert gave generously the welcome sign. We're going to start putting it out front so that when guests come in, we've been trying to have a greeter out there every week, but this sign will do it for weeks but I just wanted to put it there. Hassan's group, Hassan was here earlier. He's somewhere here. There he is. Did that for us and we appreciate it. So it's going to be a nice addition to our front for guests, I think. Larry, do you want to talk about golf?
All right. 187 was unbelievable. 3 weeks from Monday is our golf tournament, August 31st. 3 weeks. Little status update for you. As of today, we have these sponsorships still available, still open. A hole-in-one sponsorship, we have one of those left. We have the putting green. We have the putting contest sponsor, 2 premium hole sponsors, 4 hazard sponsors, and 2 $500 cart sponsors. We sold all of those last year. So somebody has sold these sponsorships in the past. I've had a couple people ask me here recently, can I sponsor that wants to put a tent up or a table up at a sponsorship? Is there any sponsors that can do that? The answer is yes. The hole-in-one sponsor, the putting green sponsor, and the 2 premium hole sponsors all will allow us to put a table or a tent or something like that. So if you got somebody that you're talking to that would like to do that, we can sell them a sponsorship that will let them do that. They're very popular, and we, like I said, we sold them all last year. This past week, I challenged you to sell 80 hole sponsors by tournament time. Last week, we sold 3. 3 a week. Ain't going to get it, guys. We got 3 weeks left. So hopefully we'll need 77 more to make that 80 number. Last year, we sold more than that. Like I told you the other day, we sold over 100 for 3 or 4 years in a row. So we need hole sponsors. We've got 10 right now, and we need a lot more than that. Tournaments in 3 weeks. We're at 80% of our goal. We hadn't moved much since last week. I put out a little challenge that said if you bring in $1,000 to get a special prize, well, the only person that brought in $1,000 was Curry, and he's out of town, and I'm not going to give him anything anyway. But but he did bring in $1,000 sponsor last week. So we got 3 weeks left, and all I can ask you is please get out there and find us some hole sponsors right now. They're $350. That's an easy sell, should be. We've certainly sold a bunch of them in the past, and I don't see any reason why we can't do it this year either. So. Any questions about golf tournament? Okay, we're very good. Get out there and sell. Thank you.
All right, we're still working on committees. If you haven't signed up, there are some papers around the on some of the tables. I think sent the link out again on Monday. I'm encouraging all committees to meet in the next few weeks because do we remember what happens when a group of Rotarians get together? We become people of action. So if you haven't signed up for a committee, please do so. We are particularly looking for help on public relations. We need Facebook, social media. We need all sorts of media promotion. So if anyone has a heart for that, that would be amazing. Let Jared know. I want to talk just for a second about last Saturday, Jennifer Shepard, Bob Thompson, and I went to the summer leadership seminar. I was going to say academy. It was amazing. I know when you get ready to do pets is an amazing experience too, but this summer leadership day was a little higher level. We focused on membership. We focused on public relations. Of course, we focused on the foundation as well. But it was an amazing experience. We learned so much, and we're looking forward to implementing some of that, those things. I also want to talk a minute about RLI. Who to hear that's not a past president? Does anybody know what RLI stands for? There you go. So there are several RLIs on our calendar in DACDB if you take a look. I want to encourage people to go. We do fund that if you're interested. It is an amazing day. There's a couple online opportunities if you can't go, because sometimes they're here in Williamson County. I think the next one closest to us is Tullahoma. What does that take, an hour from here? Does anybody know where Tullahoma is? Anyways, it is an amazing day. If you have an interest in going, please go. Please do the online one. It is, you learn so much just about what Rotary is and who we are as Rotarians. It's really amazing. So if you have any interest, let us know. Let's see, what else? Oh, let's do Ignite. Everybody ready for Ignite? Okay, everybody get your phones out. Okay, does everybody remember what Ignite is? First of all, let's start with, do we remember what DATDB stands for? District and Club Database. Okay, that holds all of our club information. Ignite is the app that goes with DACDB. Everything, guys, is moving toward this app. I promise you, in the next 5 years, this will be where all of our information lands. So if you open your Ignite app, does everybody have it? Log in and you use your DACDB login. I don't know. Oh, let's do the service selfies. So one of the icons on everybody's app is called service selfies. I love this function. So if you click on it, you can take a photo or you can select one from your reel. So everybody over here smile, see it automatically thinks it's a selfie. Everybody on this side of the room smile. Pretty girl down there asleep. Everybody smile. Okay. Now, when you say use that photo, it's going to automatically ask you to email it. It emails it to our public relations director, which is Jared, and you can say where you are. So if you're out in the wild and you run into a Rotarian and you take a selfie and say, look who I just ran into, Jared would have the opportunity, because it automatically sends it to him when you say yes, and he can post it and say, look how great we are. We're out in the wild doing fantastic things. So that's service selfie. Let's load him up. Wouldn't it be great if next week he rolls in and says, if one more person sends me a picture, my head's going to spin around? Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah. Okay. Then the last thing with Ignite is I did do another club flash survey. So if you scroll to one of the icons on there, I think everybody has 2 or 3 pages worth, click Club Flash Survey and take it. It should say you haven't responded. Is it saying the right thing? Because what I see, like what Jennifer Shepard sees, what a few of us sees is a little different than what some of you see. So if you're in Ignite, it says Club Flash Survey. Make sure it says club, because there's a district flash survey as well that would come from the district. So when you open it, it should ask you to take it. It's in little bitty print. When you take it, there's 3 questions there. These are anonymous. So when you answer, I specifically said it so I don't see your answers, because I want everybody to be honest. Just some of them are fun, some of them won't be, but I really want the feedback. So please let me know. Take the flash survey. If you have any questions, several people in the room can help you. Okay? Okay. So you can't, yep. Yep. Susie's got it. So if ever in doubt, ask a Jennifer or Susie. If in doubt, ask a Jennifer. Okay. Any other announcements? I'll let you do that. Yeah, everybody text Alan just for good measure.
Yes, perfect.
Everybody text Alan.
Hey, 2 weeks from today, we will not be in this room. We will not be in this room on August 21st. Where will we be? One Gin. We're serving at One Gin during our club meeting time on the 21st. This would be an excellent opportunity for you to bring a guest who wants to learn how to serve the community and to do something active with us. It's a relatively inexpensive meal for us to cover, and so that makes it super easy. And they get the experience of serving with our community partners. So please pencil that in. Remember that we are off-site on the 21st. At One Gin. It's in Cool Springs. We'll make sure you know how to get there. And plenty of parking. So no worries there, but bring a buddy.
Thank you. And you'll be getting a lot of communication about that. We will specifically send out information, address, where to be, what to do, all those things. I thought I added it. Is the golf tournament still not there? I added it somewhere this week because there was another service opportunity I think that I hadn't had. So I'll go in. Yeah, if we can go in and put that in. Anything else? Okay. It's time for our speaker. I don't know who is introducing you. So I apologize. I didn't get that far in my agenda.
It's me, Kip Dodson. Asan and I were in discussion about speakers, and the subject of the Tennessee School Voucher Program came up as a interesting topic. And so I extended an email invitation to the Commissioner Liz Reynolds, and then Liz Reynolds' office also said that Deputy Commissioner Sam Percy was going to join us. Commissioner Reynolds is on her way, and so I'm going to introduce Sam, and he's the man that knows, I guess, all the details and his backup support. Sam is a Brentwood resident. He holds an English degree. He was a high school English teacher in North Carolina and holds a degree from Furman University, George Washington University, and has been with the Department of Energy for the state of Tennessee since 2013. He was literally the person who held Tennessee's pandemic education response leadership position. He's helped build the state's brand new K through 12 school funding formula from scratch. So I'm going to introduce him, and then he will introduce the commissioner. Welcome, Sam Percy.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sam Piercy, the Deputy Commissioner at the Department of Education. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you for having us. Lizzette is actually visiting the Innovation Center that Williamson County Schools has put together. So she is on her way, and I actually see her in the hallway now. She just like walked right by. All right. I'll cede the floor to her in a moment, but just to give you a quick overview, what I'd like to just kind of walk through today is a little bit about what the State Department of Education actually does. I think there's a lot of confusion about the responsibilities of local boards of education versus the State Board of Education versus the Department of Education. And so I want to give just a quick foundation on that piece. Lizzette will come in and kind of hit on the Education Freedom Scholarship Program, and then we will kind of talk about other education priorities, because there's always a lot going on when it comes to our students and kids across the state. As a quick just bio story for you, I am a Tennessee native, was born here in Nashville, grew up mostly in Knoxville. As Kip mentioned, went to Furman in South Carolina, and then started in education as a high school English teacher in Charlotte, North Carolina. I made my way up to DC to study public policy at George Washington and worked there for the city school system for a few years before moving back home to Tennessee. And I've been with the Department of Education ever since. So 13 years of, 6 different commissioners, a couple of different governors, a pandemic, a new funding formula, all the fun things that come with. And so it has been a pleasure to get to serve with this state and see all the changes that have happened. From my time in the classroom to my kids being in the classroom today. It's been a very, very cool journey to watch play out. So zooming back out to a little bit about what the Department of Education actually does. We have statutory authority for 3 primary things. One is assessment, standards and assessment. So what are we studying and how are we assessing our progress on it? We also have responsibility for educator licensure. What does it take not just to put a body in front of kids, but make sure that person is well equipped to lead a classroom and really ensure we're imparting good knowledge to our students. And the third element is money. How do we flow funding out as a state? And how do we make sure that we are properly flowing down federal money as well? So at the end of the day, all state education agencies have those 3 responsibilities. Pretty much beyond that is whatever is written into state law, or whatever is an initiative for the governor and the General Assembly at that time. So that can look very different across states, across administrations, with each governor bringing in and wanting to put their, thumbprint on the work in the education space. For Governor Bill Lee, a big focus of that has been choice programming across the state. The signature initiative has certainly been the Education Freedom Scholarship. But before we kind of delve into that, I just want to make note that we actually have two other school choice programs that have been around a few years longer than the Education Freedom Scholarship. So we have the Individualized Education Accounts, which are designed specifically for students with disabilities and ensuring that they have access to funding to support their educational journeys. We also have the Education Savings Account, which focuses on high-need priority schools. So these are some of the lowest performing schools in the state, and making sure that students in those areas have access to other opportunities. Don't get too comfortable. I'm going to bring you up here. And then we have the Education Freedom Scholarship. And as you all may have seen over the last few years, this has been a big initiative of the governor and of the General Assembly. What I can tell you at a high level, and then I'll invite Lizzette to come speak more about it, is that the demand for the program was astronomical right out of the gate, right? For as much of the debate that went into it and the formulation of it, we had over 40,000 applications within the first 24 hours of it opening. And that speaks to that there is a real desire for these types of programs across the state. What I will tell you in just full transparency too is I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to the teams that led that work. You all may remember, does anyone remember like Taylor Swift's concert tour crashing all the ticket sales sites and everything? That was our fear when we started to launch this program. And we had a great team that was working on this, getting out there, spreading the news about it, and making sure that from a technical and an operational level, we were ready to launch this program and meet the demand of where it was. We hit year 2, and the General Assembly passed a law that expanded the program faster and opened it up to 35,000 seats this past year. Again, we had 53,000 applicants within a couple of days of that application opening. So high demand, high interest in these programs. And at its baseline, what the Education Freedom Scholarship program is designed to do is to empower families with options to best meet their kids' unique educational journeys. And I will say this, we were talking out in the hallway earlier about the political sides of, one side or the other. At the end of the day, we all want what's best for our kids. People have different ideas of the best way to get there. That's part of it, and that's part of public debate. But what we hope is when things are passed into law, we can implement them cleanly and effectively to best serve the residents of Tennessee in a way that meets the needs that it's designed to do. So with that, I'm going to pause and I'm going to introduce Lizzette and let her come up and do some speaking. So this is Commissioner Lizzette Reynolds. Good to see you. Welcome.
Yeah, hi. Well, it sounds like Sam got to talk to you all about the Education Freedom Scholarship account and all the programs that we have in school choice. And I actually have a little cheat sheet that I'll share with y'all later, because as Sam mentioned, we do have 3 programs that serve families all across the state. But I don't know what he said, because I was just at the Williamson County Schools Innovation Center ribbon cutting, which was amazing. So excited to see Williamson County really get engaged in really looking at pathways for students, right? We've got to think about what are all the options our students can have, taking advantage of all the CTE and college, career, military programs that we have in our state. And so it was really great to see it. And I'm so excited. It was a huge event, and I got my little ribbon and everything, and I'm going to save it and pin it up. So what else though? So education freedom, is that it? Is that what we're talking about? Well, so we have 35,000 seats, as Sam said. The numbers are tremendous. Families are seeking, and I think, and Sam touched upon this a little bit, this isn't a binary decision for parents. This isn't about, not going to public school or only going to private school. It's about what is going to fit best for all kids. As you know, you're in a great school system here. And families have to make really hard choices when it comes to thinking about what is the best place for their kid. I had a great elementary school in Austin, Texas when I lived back there back in the day. But it wasn't the perfect fit for my oldest son. He had some issues that he had with attention and just trying to keep focused in the classroom. And unfortunately, the principal did not see the value in providing supports to him. And so we really had to think about what our additional options were. And for us, unlike other families, we were able to go to the bank, get a loan, and send our son in the 4th grade to a small private school there in Austin, where he thrived for 4 years. And so when I tell people about, and our other 2 kids went through public school as well, he eventually went to a public high school. This is not about the haves and the have-nots. This is about what families truly need in order to support their kids. And like my family, there was one path for one son. There was additional paths for my other 2 children. And that's what this is all about. And so other than that, we have an amazing public school system, as you also know. We have seen tremendous growth all across this state when it comes to reading and to math. And it's like I tell people, it is truly the Tennessee way. We really look at education as our top priority in this state. It's been like that for many, many years, and I'm just so proud to be a part of that. What happened with Governor Lee's initiative was it really expanded the opportunities for children all across the state. And because the program, now in its 3rd year, going into its 3rd year, prioritizes low-income families, there is an opportunity for all families to take advantage of this program regardless of their situation. And so I really, more than anything, would love to just hear from you guys what questions you have, what opportunities you see for your community around whether it's Education Freedom Scholarship or just in general public schools. Would love to be here and answering your questions.
So let's start with just the basic.
Yes, sir.
What's happened? And if I'm a parent with a kid, what do I need to think about?
So bottom line, the scholarships amount are $7,530. So every family that applies for this program gets that base amount to go to whatever private school is participating in our program. We have 291 schools now that are open for receiving this scholarship account. And so we have already enrolled folks, obviously, for this school system. We start back up in the winter. Let me see, what day is that? I have all my notes. There's so many opportunities here. And so I believe we start back up. Is it this winter, Sam, that we're going to start back with? So bottom line, it is it is in priority status now. So families just have to apply to our website when we announce the opening, and that is how you get started. And then we have private schools that have raised their hands to say, we want to be part of the program. Families will apply. They will name which their schools are, and then if the school accepts the funding, then they get enrolled, and so they will start the next school year. Yes, sir. Oh,
yeah. One of the things I did not hear your responsibilities being is oversight of the curriculum in the schools.
Yes, sir.
I may be wrong on that, but one of the things that I am concerned about, and a lot of people are, is the continuing degradation of the teaching of history, most clearly illustrated by the 1619 project that the New York Times started.
Sure.
I have also heard of programs to replace the Howard Zinn history book with something that's more appropriate, more honest, and more correct about the United States history, and particularly the invitation to Land of Hope, which is, I've read and I found it to be much more accurate. So what is the initiative at the state level to oversee the curriculum and get truth being taught in our schools?
Sure. So you are right. The state does not have a say in the types of curriculum that are offered at the local school districts. We do have list of approved textbooks when it comes to literacy. And then all books have to go through the textbook commission in order to get approved for use in the classrooms. Now, when it comes to the actual history, we have history standards, social studies standards that the State Board of Education adopts through what they work with teachers to adopt these standards, and then school districts adopt curriculum that are aligned to those standards. Now, what the Textbook Commission does is make sure that there is alignment to the standards. As far as the actual teaching in the classroom, we work really hard with our teachers to teach the standards the way they should be taught. We provide professional development. We provide high quality instructional materials. We provide supports for our teachers. We do not control what goes on in the classroom. That is up to district leadership and to campus leadership. And we have been working really hard with the State Board of Education to make sure that the history is taught the way it should be taught. It is hard. You know, we talk a lot about local control. And oftentimes we see that in some aspects of some schools, there are different ways that are, there are different ways in which the standards are taught. But at the end of the day, they all get assessed through our state TCAP assessment. And so so in order to be successful on the TCAP, you're going to have to teach the standards in a way that is adopted by the state. And those standards are strong. We're going to continue to be looking and supporting school districts. We also really focus a lot on civics education and really thinking about how we can also elevate students to understand their role in government, to understand their role in how to manage government, and how to really think through our history and how to celebrate it in a way that we all know that our country is great. So that's always a hard one. It's always something that we're always tackling, particularly at the state level. I had a meeting a 3 weeks ago with some state chiefs across the country. We're all tackling this problem. And really focus on trying to think about how we can all work together to kind of elevate and really think differently about how we can better influence teaching and curriculum. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming. And I love your attempt to say, hey, can we not do politics here? And like, we're going to do politics.
Okay,
Settle in.
there you go.
Yeah.
Go to that.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I got kids in public school, and I'm happy with. I mean, I'm in Brentwood, for Pete's sake. I don't know how you complain about public schools here. Not that there's not good reason to go to private schools, but I'm very happy with the public schools. Or as my friend here calls it, general population. Yeah. Anyway, so the voucher program, honestly, I haven't paid too much attention because I knew it would never apply to me. But $7,500 to go to a private school. So I guess as a taxpayer, my concern is, and I have no data on this, so please forgive me if I say something ignorant. What I don't want to do is give $7,500 for rich families to send their kids to MBA. They don't need it. And I'm just curious what the demographics are on the people who are, do you have average income for people getting $7,500 of taxpayer money for private schools?
So we have not collected the data because it wasn't required by the law.
Because you don't want to know.
However, there are new requirements that were passed this past legislative session. Well, we will have more of that information, mainly income. I believe demographics aren't part of it. Specific demographics, are they? It's not specific demographics. My understanding is there will be, I actually have a list of what we're supposed to collect here.
So you said there's a low income program. How many of the seats are set aside for the low incomes?
So right, again, back to square zero, right? So it was 10,000 universal, so any income. This was the first year of the law, and the second 10,000 were families within 300% of free and reduced lunch, and so those were pretty much evenly split between both incomes. So second year, the expansion, which the legislature expanded to to another 15,000. There is a prioritization now. So the first prioritization of families is 100% of free and reduced lunch. Second priority is 300% of free and reduced lunch. Third priority is, oh gosh, I'm going to forget, prior school enrollment. Fourth, then we start getting into universal, but we only have 15,000 seats, so additional seats. And so that's how the prioritization happened. I don't have the actual specific income levels but we did collect, I mean, we do have some checking to make sure that we know what the income is, because they all have to submit their 1040s. So, you know, that was something that we all fought hard for, was to ensure that additional families that don't have the income are able to take advantage of these private school options. But again, it's all up to the families themselves to decide, you know, what it is that they want to do. So that's kind of where we're at. So anything else? Yeah.
All right, so my question regards kind of the amount of money spent. I did the math. So about 255 million in the program. I looked up, there's about 1,700 public schools in Tennessee. So that's roughly 150,000 that could go to every school to pay for better teachers, improve facilities, you know, and if you even directed that to inner city schools or lower income schools, that could be even more for those schools to increase their teacher base. So what's the logic behind giving 7,500 to go to a private school that may even pay for one semester a year at most of the private schools around here, instead of investing back into the public school districts in Tennessee to improve the quality of teaching and facilities?
Sure. I mean, well, there's been a number of initiatives that Governor Lee has championed, as has the General Assembly. First and foremost, $2.5 billion investment in public education since Governor Lee came into office. So there's been a significant investment in public schools. Again, it is not a binary choice. There was $500 million that went to middle and high schools all across the state to do what I just visited, which is innovation in schools, to really think about career path, career, college, and military pathway. So, and then there's the minimum, which already is met here, just automatically, of 50,000 for a first-year teacher, which just passed this last legislative session. So there have been significant investments in public education. The way our formula works now is they all get a pot of money. They all get 75-30, which is the new base. Again, an increase from last legislative session, plus additional dollars to support students who are struggling in reading, economically disadvantaged kids, kids with different characteristics, whether dyslexia, other additional students with disabilities. So those dollars can add up from 75-30 for public school student support all the way up to $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, depending on the student. So again, I would say the school districts get to decide how to spend that money. Nobody's telling them from the state, you have to do this, this, and this. And so those investments themselves are going towards improving schools every single day. We've seen significant all across the state, particularly in our rural communities, achievement. Students have been knocking it out of the park when it comes to literacy and to math. So I would say dollars don't fix things. Dollars themselves don't make the difference. What matters is implementation, fidelity of practice, and how leaders lead. And that is what makes the difference. That's what makes the investments in teachers. We offer at the state significant professional development. I can't remember the number, but it was quite a significant number of teachers that we've had over the summer coming on their own dime to receive professional development in all the things: adolescent literacy, Algebra 1, math in general. So again, we are making that investment. That investment is there. This is about kids. This is about kids who need different support sometimes that sometimes aren't offered at those school districts. And you're going to have some families that may have one kid in a public school and another kid in a private school, like we did, because those were the best choices for them. Remember, and we also have to think, some of these kids, you talk about low income, they're zoned. They don't have a choice. There is no choice for them. They have to go to the school unless there's a charter school in their community. So to give parents, like the parents at Antioch, there's a school out in Antioch that has taken advantage of this program, and they are serving I would say probably 100% free and reduced students at this time. And they're seeing tremendous opportunities open and their doors opening for them. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, my thoughts are along the same lines as Charles.
Sure.
One of my, several of my college girlfriends are on a text thread, and one of them was thrilled to be able to apply for this. She didn't need it. She does not need it. And we're all, offline rolling our eyes and having side conversations about how it feels irresponsible of her to take that funding from someone who probably needs it more than she does. So when is the implementation of, when will there be implementation of standards, of thresholds, where if you make over a certain amount, or if, determining what the need is, more of a need-based application process?
It started this year.
It has already begun?
Yes, the kids in their so last year was the 10-10 that were in school. This year is prioritization. And again, I don't have those numbers off the top of my head. And I know we're collecting the data, but that should give us more information on the prioritization, depending on how many kids were part of the 100%, 300% prior school enrollment, and then getting more into the universal pieces.
Okay. And how are you continuing to evaluate, or what types of measures are in place to determine the results that you're seeing, matriculation into the same program, or if they're returning to standard public education?
Sure. I mean, for the most part, most families are returning to the program that we could tell. I would say it's in the 90th percentile. They're all pretty much staying there. One thing that I don't think people really understand is that so we are going to collect their norm reference data. The comptroller is working with us on that. But so the big difference is they can take either the TCAP, which is the state summative assessment, or a norm reference test. And so the difference being that the curriculum is the pacing of the curriculum could be completely different from what's going on in the public school. So as I said, for my son, when he was in the 4th through 8th, they did the ERB, but it wasn't aligned with we were in Texas, with the Texas standards. So there is no requirement that they have to be aligned to Tennessee state standards, but for the most part they are, because some of them are elementary school, so they know that the kids are going to matriculate into a public middle school or high school, just depending, or vice versa or whatever. So it's really up to the private schools how they want to assess. The data is going to be collected by the comptroller, and there should be a report kind of reporting out on how kids were doing. But it is not apples to apples at all. Kids are doing different things in these private schools than they are doing in the public schools. The public schools are more apples to apples. And so it just really depends on the school itself. And I think there are some, so in our ESA program, which is the very first program that is in its 3rd year of implementation, right? Because it started my first year.
ESA.
Yeah, the ESA. Right. Yeah, had a little pause. And so those students are required to take the TCAP. What we have found, if they have outperformed their peers in those from the school districts that they went to, are they knocking it out of the park? I think everybody, a lot of these kids in that first program, they were zoned to Metro, Shelby, and to Hamilton. So they were all struggling, but they have continued to see academic success, and parents love the program. And that program is income restricted.
Thank you.
Yes.
For coming.
Yes, sir.
Question is not about scholarship, but overall state of education in our state, how we are doing versus rest of the country. Are we moving in the right direction? Or that, how do you evaluate the teachers?
Yes, sir. So, yeah. Our students are just doing great. And it's like I said, when I went to that chief meeting a couple of weeks or so ago, my friend Lance Evans in Mississippi, I'm like, I am so tired of hearing about Mississippi, because guess what? We are knocking it out of the park. And I have got our comms division reaching out on the national level to really continue to be talking about Tennessee and how great our kids are doing. We are above pre-pandemic levels. Are we where we want to be? Absolutely not. You know, we have 42% of our kids, our third graders have reached proficiency levels on our third grade TCAP. That means, you know, 58% aren't. So we still have a lot of work to do. Did I say that right? Yes. Okay, I'll make sure I got my math right. And then what's really interesting is that we are, so what a lot of people are looking at right now across the country is adolescent literacy, right? So we all talk about reading, about learning to read in K through 3, but then we're reading to learn, right? From 4 to 8 and beyond. And so one of the things that Tennessee has really stood out is it's doing really well in that space. Now, granted, our kids that are in middle school were our pandemic babies, right? They were the ones that missed some critical time, not as much because Tennessee opened early. But those are the ones that we're really targeting. But at the end of the day, we're still doing a lot better than them. So we all did the national assessment on educational progress. Those scores should come out in January. That'll be a real truth test. But we're proud of the fact that our cut scores, our TCAP cut scores are very much aligned with the national NAEP test. So I expect that our kids are going to do just as well. We are in the top 20 now of states in reading. I think we're top 20 in reading and top 15 in math, I believe. We have our African American fourth graders are #1 when it comes to math achievement. We have done really well in even the later grade level. So somebody was coming to pull me off with a big stick. Okay. And anyway, and so, you know, knocking out social studies and science. I mean, our kids are doing great. Our schools are doing a good job. It's a 1 minute. You want to talk afterwards? I didn't know if y'all wanted.
Yeah.
Please. I'll leave that for you.
Okay.
I like a comparison.
Okay, we can put these out on the table. Comparison charts. Thank you so much. Just a quick reminder that the Tennessee Baptist Children's Home back to school shopping is today at 2:00 at the Cool Springs Target, if anybody's interested in attending. Congratulations to our newlyweds over there, Tucker. Chuck, thank you for coming. George, do you have something? It's special, 63. Wow. Sam and Liz, is it Liz or Lizzette? Do you go with Liz? Okay. We read to children in schools, and we volunteers go in, we leave the book with them after we read it. So we ask that you sign the book. And we can tell them a little bit about you and your program as we leave it behind. And the pen is your special gift for coming today. Isn't that Innovation Center amazing? It's so nice. Yeah, it's so amazing. Any other business for the good of Rotary today? All right. Thank you. Have a nice week.